You know, deep inside the walls and underneath the floors of your home, there's a hidden story being written. It's a silent narrative, told not with words, but through that whole network of pipes that's basically your home's circulatory system.
And this secret, well, it isn't just some fun little fact. It actually has a huge impact on your daily comfort, and it can even mess with your property's value.
And yeah, you guessed it, that secret is written in the pipes. They really are the arteries of your home, and believe me, they have a fascinating and sometimes pretty problematic story to tell.
So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? What story are your pipes telling? And maybe more importantly, do you even know how to listen? To help you learn this hidden language, we're going to dive in and decode a really interesting case study from Frederick, Maryland. It's a place where homes are in this constant, silent war with their own history and the actual ground they're sitting on.
So, let's start with a ghost from the past. For a lot of older homes, the biggest problems you're facing today, well, they aren't new at all. They were literally built right into the walls decades ago.
So here's the deal. For homes built before the 1960s, galvanized steel pipes were the standard. The problem, the thing you can't see, is that they rust from the inside out. This gunk just builds up and builds up, slowly choking off the water flow. It's exactly like clogged arteries, until one day you notice the water pressure stinks, or even worse, you've got a leak.
So how do you spot this ghost in your own home? Well, the warning signs are often pretty subtle at first. You might notice the shower pressure just isn't what it used to be. Or maybe you see some brownish, kind of rusty-looking water for a second or two when you first turn on the sink. And then there are those really sneaky pinhole leaks that just pop up and cause all sorts of water damage inside your walls before you even have a clue they're there.
But it's not just history. In a place like Frederick, the actual ground your house is built on is a huge part of the story. The environment itself is constantly pushing back, and the signs are often hiding in plain sight.
Okay, so check this out. We've basically got three main environmental enemies at work here. First, there's expansive clay soil. When this stuff gets wet and then dries out, it literally squeezes and moves your underground pipes around, which can lead to some really nasty sewer backups. Then you've got hard water, which causes all that crusty mineral buildup inside your appliances. And finally, the classic villain, the freeze-thaw cycle, where freezing water expands and can split a pipe wide open. Let's just zoom in on that hard water issue for a second, because it's the perfect example of a slow-moving disaster. Those minerals in the water, they don't just flow through. They settle at the bottom of your water heater and create this thick, crusty layer of sediment. This layer then acts like an insulator, forcing your heater to work harder and harder and harder to heat the water, which, you guessed it, eventually damages the tank itself. And here's what that actually means for your wallet. A normal tank water heater should last about 8 to 12 years. But with that constant sediment buildup from hard water, that lifespan can get cut way shorter. You end up having to replace a super expensive appliance years before you ever should have. Okay, so we've met the villains of our story. Old materials and a tough environment. But what about the heroes? Let's talk about the modern stuff, the tools of the trade that fight back.
I mean, just look at the evolution here. The old dangers, things like corroding galvanized steel and those brittle old clay sewer lines, they're being replaced by way better, modern solutions. Materials like PEX and copper, they don't rust from the inside out. And PVC sewer lines are so tough and slick that tree roots just can't get a grip on them. It's a total game changer.
And the thing guiding all this progress? The building code. You know, you might think, ugh, red tape. But this quote really nails it. Following the code isn't just about ticking boxes. It's the fundamental system that makes sure all these modern materials are used the right way to keep you safe and protect the value of your home.
So when you do need to call on a pro, the whole process shouldn't be some big mystery. It's really just a simple three-step dance. You call them, they figure out the problem and get your okay on the solution, and then they get the work done and follow up. It should be simple, transparent, and effective.
So now that you know the language of your home's plumbing, how can you put it to use? This last part is all about giving you the tools to read the signs in your own home.
And you can totally do this yourself in just a few minutes. Seriously. Take a walk around. Look for any water stains on ceilings or walls. Listen for weird sounds like gurgling toilets or a rumbling water heater. Check for little drips under your sinks. Notice if the shower is draining slower than it used to. And this last one is so important. Do you know exactly where your main water shutoff valve is? Knowing that now can save you from an absolute catastrophe later.
So we end right back where we started. Every little gurgle, every drip, every slight change in pressure. It's like a word in a sentence. Your home's pipes are telling you a story about their past, about the battles they're fighting right now, and about their future. The only question left is, are you listening?